What do you mean you want to do it, Nihil? Hornetta was stunned. Her assassins have never rejected any of her tasks before. I apologize in the name of my children and myself, your highnessness, but we cannot do what you ask from us. Nihil, who was bowing before his queen, shamefully said. I cannot believe this. Is it the chow? Am I not paying you enough? How dare you reject me? Hornetta was furious. It is not the matter of the pay, your highnessness, nor is it the question of our ability. We are more than capable of killing him, but we just simply refuse to. He is too important for the kingdom. Too important? Are you joking with me, Nihil? If I recall correctly, you have personally killed the Master King, have you not? You have killed the most important persona in Castania, yet you refuse to kill a mere great knight? I do not understand. With all due respect, your highnessness, but Caesar is more important than that old fool ever was. If Caesar is gone, then Castana truly has no hope left. Nihil was convincing. Queen Hornetta couldn't believe what she was hearing. Caesar? More important than Dabir? So important that even Nihil and his children, the most ruthless and greediest assassins in all of Castana, refused to kill him? Just what is Caesar's master plan, I wonder? What exactly is he doing that's so important? The queen's thoughts were suddenly interrupted by the door of her bedchamber suddenly opening. Lord! Nihil quickly turned toward Caesar, who had just entered the room. The assassin bowed before the cunning knight. Leave the queen and I alone, will you, Nihil? Caesar ordered. As you wish, my lord. Nihil quickly left, shutting the door behind him. Hornetta, Caesar simply said. Caesar, she coldly replied. What's the matter? Is it perhaps that your assassins aren't as loyal as you thought? Caesar grinned as the words left his mouth. Curse you, Caesar, Hornetta thought to herself. Why are you here? She asked him. You know exactly why I'm here, Hornetta. I have sent your assassins to do the job for me a while ago. You will give me children, Hornetta. Strong, deadly cicada wasps. I will personally raise them to become the next rulers of this kingdom. And not just honest. Once everything is set in place, I will rule Castania. I will fix Castania. I will be the next Master King. Caesar raised his head. He was wearing the Castanean Crown that he had taken from Dabir so many seasons ago. Hornetta found it to be disrespectful and egoistic to do so, but now that she knew what Caesar's true intentions were, she understood why he loved wearing it. So that's what it is. You want to replace what you've destroyed. Are you going to do the same with me once I'm of no use to you anymore, I wonder? You disgust me, Caesar, the queen thought to herself, as that was the only thing that she was capable of doing. Well then, Caesar put his crown and the scepter he was carrying down. I waited long enough. Get ready, your highnessness. The queen wanted to resist. She wanted to curse him, to stab him with the knife she was hiding below her bed. But she did nothing. She knew that she was too powerless against him. She just laid down and obeyed. Half an hour later, Master King's palace. We're here, Nathan said as the three heroes approached the palace. It looks abandoned, Antonio commented. With nobody left to take care of it, the palace was slowly falling apart. Well, it makes sense. I doubt that many travelers pass here, especially after the incident that took place here, Hercules said. Well, let's go inside, shall we? Nathan said as he opened the heavy doors that led into the place. The trio entered and immediately felt a disturbance as the cold air wave from the empty hallways hit them. As the two ants and the beetle walked through the halls, they noticed more and more signs of the battle that took place here over 10 seasons ago. Trail of the crow cutter that had been dragged onto the palace's ground. Tiny bits of the dusty remains of the one who was once known as Moteas the Shiny. A big scratch that had been imprinted onto the floor of the palace, the scratch made when Dan used the crow cutter to kill the said Moteas. The whole scene was quite a dreadful sight to be seen. The trio decided to go past all it. They went straight to Dabir's chamber, where the dead king resided. At this point, Dabir's body was nothing but an empty shell, a hollow husk of the bug who once ruled above them all. On his stomach, the trio could see the hole that Nihil's sting made all that time ago. All right, we saw what we came to see. This confirms everything Dan told us. Let's go. Nathan turned around. He knew that Dan was telling the truth from the start, but now that he had seen the indisputable proof, it felt different. Different from when Dan told his story, because up to this point, Dan's story was simply that, a story. But with what he had seen in this palace, that story had just become their cruel reality. Wait! Hercules stopped Nathan, who turned back. What is it, Hercules? Don't you find it odd? Like something is missing from here? Hercules asked, and Nathan was unsure of what his friend meant. It must be the shock or something. You're imagining things. Let's go, Nathan insisted. No, he's right, Antonio said. I feel it, too. Something is missing from this room, the young ant added. The crown! Hercules came to the realization. The crown is missing. And not just the crown. The scepter that the bear has always been carrying with him is missing too. Yes, you're right. Nathan finally saw it. But why would he take them? Why would Caesar take Master King's crown and scepter? Antonio questioned the cunning knight's actions. No. Could it be that he wants to be the next one? The next Master King? Hercules concluded. I see. It would make sense if that was his end goal. Blinded by his twisted view of the world, the twisted way he values lives. One life matters nothing compared to that of 1,000. The things Webonetta implanted into his head, how he saw Castanean as broken. He wants to fix it. And to do that, he would need to be the one in charge, the Master King. And to become one, he would have to be the one wearing the Castanean Crown. So, what started as a simple fight for survival, the fight to save himself and his friends from the bear's own plans, ended with Caesar getting so off his original goal that he started killing anyone who opposed him, even those he strived to protect, Nathan said. It is truly a tragedy. He was a great hero and an honorable warrior, Hercules added. The words he had heard, as well as being present in this place, the place where the heroes he grew to love, the heroes he admired so much, died. It made Antonio emotional, sad. But I think this makes things pretty clear. For where to go next, I mean, Nathan said. Yes, if he truly wanted to become the next Master King, he would have to start somewhere he was familiar with, somewhere where he would gain followers quickly, followers who wouldn't question his lead. Hercules continued what Nathan wanted to say. So, we are heading there next. The kingdom of Hornest? Antonio's shaking voice asked. Nathan nodded, saying, Yes, it's most likely where Dan went to, too. Let's get going then. We have to catch up to him. We have to try to reason with Caesar. There might still be a chance he will come back to his senses. These words made Antonio determined. He nodded in agreement. And so the three went onwards, to the final destination of their long journey, Caesar's birthplace, the kingdom of Hornest. In the meantime, the Cotido trio's hideout, Beetlefield. Gregory, Edgar, awake, David called out for his friend, as their crippled comrade woke up. Edgar! The cockroach jumped at the dung beetle, hugging him tightly. You had us so worried. Don't you dare ever get into such trouble again, you bastard! Gregory started crying as he spoke. You bastard! Who did this to you? Why did they do it? Why did they wound you like that? Whoever it was, I swear that I will find them. They will pay. They will... David, the Titan beetle, put one of his legs onto the disturbed cockroach, who moved aside to make space for his big friend. Edgar. The young Titan beetle was also crying, and while the pain he felt from losing his limb was gone, it was replaced with a far harsher, sharper pain. The pain of having something terrible happen to your loved one. The worst kind of pain. Edgar hurt. David and Gregory hurt too, David mumbled. Edgar wanted to tell them. He wanted to say how much he loved them, how much they meant to him. But with his ability to speak being stolen by those damned wasps, for the rest of his life he would never be able to tell them those words. And that was what truly made the dung beetle cry. But it also made him appreciate all of those cherished moments that he had had with them. Write it! Gregory suddenly exclaimed. Write it to me! Describe what happened. Describe me who did this, and I'll make sure they regret ever messing with the Cotido tree. The cockroach's words were stopped by a small gesture Edgar made. He slightly raised his top right leg. What? Are you trying to tell us something, Edgar? Edgar shook his head, making a fist of the leg he raised proudly. I don't understand what... Gregory was confused, but someone else understood the message Edgar was trying to send. No more. No more fight. David translated the message. But... Gregory was angry. How could Edgar say that? And how could David agree with him so easily? Didn't David want to fight too? Didn't he lose his limb? Didn't he want revenge? All those questions were confusing the young cockroach, until another gesture Edgar made cleared that confusion off of him. Edgar gestured for Gregory and David to come closer to him. The two listened and they came closer to the bed Edgar was lying in. And what Edgar did next was something so small, small yet so precious. Something that both David and Gregory would remember for the rest of their lives. Something that finally made Gregory understand why Edgar ordered them not to fight anymore. Edgar hugged them. He hugged David and Gregory. He hugged them tightly, with the strong grip only dung beetles possessed. He hugged them and he didn't let go, for a very long time. He hugged them and he cried. He cried, not because he almost lost them, but because they almost lost him. He cried and it made David and Gregory cry with him. He cried and it made Gregory realize just how pointless his lust for revenge was. He cried and it made Gregory see what truly mattered. He cried and the Cotido trio cried with him. He cried and the Cotido trio never fought again. He cried and it saved those who were most precious to him.